Welcome to the Eloquent Systems webinar on Social Outreach and Web 2.0. My name is Maria Robinson. I'm a consultant here at Eloquent Systems. I want to tell you today all about the functionality Eloquent offers to help you get your message out. Every application in the Eloquent WebSuite provides you with the tools to promote your valuable resources and connect with the public in a variety of ways. I borrowed screenshots from a number of our clients' pages, and you may see your own here. And if you do, it's because I think you've done something really great and I want to show it off. So here are a number of questions to ponder as we go through today's presentation. What is your brand? What image are you trying to get across? Does your audience know who you are? Do you know who your audience is? Figuring this question out is a really important part of developing an outreach strategy. Does your audience know how to find you? How do you get your message out? How can you better engage with your audience? And what kind of access do they have to your resources? So Eloquent WebSuite applications offer you the following answers. And let's start with how you can help your audience find you. One way is to create and place inviting links on your web pages. Put them in places where your users will naturally go in order to browse your resources. This first example from Van Dusen Botanical Garden Libraries, they have sort of a bold, flashy link near the top of their library and resource page. This link was originally a little bit further down, but the librarian negotiated with the web team to get it moved up the page. She's still working on negotiating to get a link on the front page, but there's some different priorities going on at the moment, so hopefully that will come through. It's a bit in contrast to what happened at the Alzheimer's Society in Toronto. The librarian here actually had nothing to do with getting their catalog linked on the main page. This was entirely a web development decision. They let her know after the fact, and of course she was quite pleased about it. But your web team and your IT team can sometimes have different ideas about how things should work. So you need to work with them and try to come up with a set of goals and priorities that you can all work on together. Then we have Emporia State University, and in addition to putting a link to their archives catalog on their main page, they also have a search box. And this search box means that somebody can be on the library page, type in some keywords, and then press search. After they press search, they will be taken to a new window with their search results, but it takes out that one extra step of having to actually go into a catalog and then think about what you're going to do. You can do your search right now. Sometimes that delay is enough to make people hesitate and maybe not take that extra step. We have two modules on the archive side that will expose your catalog index to search engines like Google. We have the HTML index publishing module and HTML finding aid publishing module. These create another access point for researchers where they can browse your index or a detailed finding aid for a particular collection. These descriptions are hosted where they are accessible to web crawlers and they link back to your catalog. You can see the example on the left for Avid. They've put their entire collection on here and you can browse through the top few levels and get that detail coming right out of the catalog. On the right-hand side, the Johns Hopkins archives have put together separate pages and separate finding aids for each of their major collections. So this collection information and this data that's coming straight out of their database is accessible through the archives website. Not necessarily through the catalog as well, but you don't have to go into the catalog to find and browse through this information. So now that they've found you, how do you help them know what you're all about? This is our out-of-the-box public search interface. There's a lot to work with here, and we can help you customize it to fit your image. So let's take a look at the possibilities. We have color, style, and images. All of these can be made to fit your individual needs, your individual colors and style. If your institution likes to do things in blue, we can do blue. If you want your logo at the top, we can do that. We can even have a rotating set of pictures on this front page. We can also change the welcome message as well as the help and the search suggestions. If you want to make this more complex, less complex, give people specific search ideas, we can help you with that. We can also change the access points up at the top where you see that keyword search box and the photographs only box. We can include some drop downs maybe for material type, for example, or a checkbox for new materials only. Up in the right-hand corner, under related links, we can also change these and add in links that go back into your library or your archives page, or even back to the main institution page. Let's see some examples. The first two examples are from earlier Eloquent versions, and they've had significant work done to them to customize them. But what I really like about this first example are the canned searches that Embry-Riddle has created for some of its signature records. One click, and I'm instantly in the midst of exciting and interesting records. It's instant gratification, really. So instead of having to come up with some search words or try to decide, what am I interested in seeing in today if I don't have a particular agenda, then I can just choose one of these options that I've been presented with. If I'm really interested in World War II, all I need to do is click on that link, and I immediately get a whole bunch of results with some really great records, and I can start my search. We're actually working on developing the same functionality in our new catalog, so keep your eyes open, and we'll let you know when that's ready down the road. The second example from Nova Scotia, here you have the ability to narrow down your search in a way that's relevant to the catalog's mission. You see I've highlighted institution, so in this case you can select a particular institution on a province-wide archival database. This is just an example of one of the types of drop-downs that you can have to give your users access into your resources. These next two examples show the free and easy customization we can do for you. They're much newer. What West Coast Child Care Resource Center has done, and this is unique to them, is this WOW drop-down. This makes it really easy to dive right into their featured items. So options include things like seasonal celebrations, current issues, and staff favorites. This site also uses the Members module, which among other things allows users to track their library records. Van Dusen has copied over that same unique look and feel that they created on their organization website that we saw a few slides ago. It carries over their brand into the catalog and makes the transition feel seamless. So if you're on their website and you click into the catalog, it doesn't really feel like you've left the Van Dusen website. It's still part of it. What they have is a new arrivals only checkbox. You check this off when you're doing your keyword search, and you're only going to see the newest and the greatest additions to their collection. So we have other options for checkboxes and drop-downs, like WOW and new arrivals, and these are top-down or popular. We can also customize particular things for you, whatever you'd like to see. Top-down shows all the uppermost level descriptions. These are good for institutions like archives and museums who organize their material into hierarchies. Popular can be used to bring back those items or descriptions that have been most often viewed. Another thing you can do is brand your archives with a unique name, something that characterizes what your institution is offering through its collection. Wisdom is a common theme when it comes to information catalogs. So what we see here, for example, from the California Records Department is Athena for their records retention schedules. The Evangelical Lutheran Church in America has chosen to go with Solomon. So it really feels like it's more personalized catalog in this way when you give it a name. The San Bernardino County Historical Archives has their arrowhead logo on here, and they've called their catalog Arrowhead. This logo or this image is part of the county crest. It's on everything across the entire county, and so they like to be consistent. It's important to them to make sure that everything they do is branded in this way so people know immediately who it is they're dealing with. So some of these features require some amount of maintenance on your part. For example, you are responsible for tagging materials as new or top level, and for keeping the verbiage on your welcome page current. Whatever things you'd like to see there, you need to make that up. We have our default, but it's better if you personalize it. And while this can be some amount of effort, it does go a long way towards making the user feel invited and excited about your materials. Like they really know who they're dealing with and they want to be there. So now that you have got their attention, how do you hold it? How can you engage them and keep them on your site and really interested in your materials? At the bottom of every description page, there are buttons allowing users to share the treasures they found with others. They can print or email or even post on Facebook, Twitter, or LinkedIn. We have a few other buttons available now too. These social media buttons put your collection into a much more public eye. If somebody finds something on your page they really like, maybe a photograph or a book, they want to share it with everyone in their network, they post it on Facebook, and then their friends and people in their network can click on that link on Facebook and come into your catalog, and maybe they'll start browsing around too, and the next thing you know, you have a new customer and a new fan. There are also ways for your users to actively participate with your material. And one of those ways is for users to tag people, places, and objects in photographs. This functionality is available as part of the Members module. Users need to register, of course subject to your approval, and then their tags are put into a moderation queue before becoming publicly available. So you do have that option to make sure that nothing inappropriate gets put up there. If you trust your users, you can turn off the moderation and let all the tags become instantly available. It's entirely up to you. Other users, after somebody has come in and tagged, and the process is a lot like Facebook, you click on a picture, you provide a name, you're done. So then other users can come and hover over those tagged areas in the image and they can see that added information. Once users are registered, they can also leave comments. In this particular example, we've got an image of a village cigar store on Spadina Road in Forest Hill in Toronto. What one of our users has done is mention that this is now a sushi restaurant, which is kind of exciting because now you see how things have changed through the years. It's a different community, different people, and different emphases in this area. So these functionalities serve a twofold purpose. They let your users feel involved in your mission, and they let you take advantage of your users' knowledge. Both sides get a sense of satisfaction, and your collection is now more fully described. You can incorporate this information into your own descriptions, or you can leave it there as user testimony. Eloquent applications also give you the ability to provide useful and informative tools to aid your user searches. Here's an example of a library resource page. What we see here, first of all, is that book cover. You get an image, and having an image just makes this book come a little more alive and make it a little more real and interesting for people. It also gives them two different ways to request this item. So it gives them some options. Maybe they're more comfortable talking to people, maybe they're more comfortable sending an email. There's also a link to Amazon where they can purchase this book, and a link to Synthetic Info, which also provides online electronic content. There's a link to a Google preview of this book, and in some cases you can get the entire book. There's an option to save this title to a user's personal list as well. If you haven't used this sort of shopping cart-like feature that we have on our website before, it can be really handy. Users can come in and select either books or photographs or files, anything that they'd like to sort of amass into a private collection. Then they can either review that collection that they've made or their list, or they can send off an email to the librarian or an archivist to request these particular resources, or maybe ask if they're available, and maybe they can be made available for them if they want to come into the reading room and check them out themselves. Lastly, down in the corner, we have this option to translate the page into virtually any language using Google Translate. It's a great way to make your catalog accessible all over the world. So this is another example showing ways Eloquent can help your collection pop. We have these icons like new, which really does pop out. It's bright, and it's got an exclamation point. You can let people know that you've acquired new materials and you are excited about it, and you want them to be excited about it too. The images are a way of adding to the textual description as well that you provide. For example, if you just saw a title that says Lightbox, Square Tabletop, you're not really going to know what that is, and if you're interested in using it and checking it out. But here you have a photograph, so it gives you some more information about what this thing is. This library also has a circulation module, which allows users to see the availability of your materials. Now in this example, there are 2 copies, and one of them is checked out until Sunday, September 16th. This example shows Google Maps in use. Eloquent provides a mashup between Google Maps and your resource records. All you need to do is provide an address or coordinates. Users then click on the map icon in their search results, and they can see the location of a particular resource on a current map. So it shows you where things or people are and where they were. It can be another way of making history feel more alive and relevant. And because this is a Google Maps mashup, you can even get the street view in there too, so you can get a very clear visual representation of some of your authorities and resources. There's an additional Google Maps module that provides you with another access point into your collection. You can configure a set of geographic location types like subways, hotels, churches, historical sites, and tag them to your authority records. When users search by this method, their results are seen spread across a map. So they can hover over those little pinpoints and see more information about any of those areas, or they can click on the link on the left and see a full resource description on the right-hand side. Eloquent also offers you the opportunity to utilize the results from Google Analytics, which is another module we have. This will keep track of where your audience is, where they're going on your site, what they're searching for, and what keywords they're using, what they're looking at, and how long they're looking at it. This kind of information can be valuable and used in a number of ways. One is to select content to display for a popular button. You can use it to select resources for advertising. You can use them to create canned searches for your first-time visitors, or you can even use that data and analyze it to see if you're achieving your outreach goals. So to wrap up, what we've looked at today are a few different strategies. One, for how you can help people find you, you can link to your catalog from your website or a number of other sites. Anywhere where you think your users are and where your audience lives, put your link out there and invite them to come in. We also have the HTML publishing modules that will expose your index to search engines. So how can you help them know you? Well, we can customize your web page, and you might also want to think about branding your catalog with a name. And how can you engage them? Use those social media buttons. Get people tagging and leaving comments and feeling engaged with your material. You can also put a number of images and links on your resource pages, and maybe think about using Google Maps and Google Analytics. So your mission now, should you choose to accept it, is to think about these questions and answer some of them for yourselves. Come up with an institution strategy. So what is your brand? What do you want to be known by? What are your goals? Clearly you want to be connecting people with history and knowledge and information in some way. So does your audience know who you are and where to find you? Can they access your collections easily? Are you making it look pretty enough and inviting enough that they want to access your collections? And can you do a better job of engaging them? Before we leave, I want to show you our website. And what we have here on our clients page is a list of all of our clients, and a number of them have public databases. I encourage you to go check these out, click on a few of them, and see what your peers are up to. Some of these other institutions are doing some really exciting things with their websites. So if you like their ideas, talk to them or talk to us, and we can make it happen for you. Back at the top in this intro paragraph, we have a link to Public Database v5.2. This is the database that we use here at Eloquent for public demos. Go ahead and play around in here. Consider it your own sandbox. Try out tagging and commenting. Try out that Maps module. Do some searches. Look through photographs. Even use those social media buttons and try posting on Facebook yourself. And you can see how easy it is. We also have examples of those HTML publishing modules I was talking about, the tree index and the published samples. Take a look at those. Maybe you like what they're doing, and maybe you'd like to do that too. Lastly, if you have any questions whatsoever, please give us a call anytime. We'd be happy to help. We want to help you use Eloquent to its full capacity. We have the tools. You just need to utilize them. Thank you.